Huge test for Alabama coming up Saturday on the road. Can they do it without Deontae Lawson, who had an ankle sprain in the win against Ole Miss? We're going to talk about that. It's Bama Tailgate Daily. I'm Mick Gillispie. If you're not on our roster, we know you're a 4, maybe a 5-star prospect, and we want you to be part of what we're doing here on our own YouTube channel. Be a part of it right now by subscribing. Give us a thumbs up. That's a way of saying roll tide, and hit the bell so you know when we're live. Well, it was an impressive win on Saturday. We've talked about it, and now it's time to move on. Alabama plays the other team from the Magnolia State, and to me, this is more of a rival for Alabama than Ole Miss. And the reason why is that Mississippi State has always played a very physical brand of football against Alabama, and they've always, since I've been around anyway, been one of those teams that makes it very difficult at times to beat. Now, Alabama's had their number here recently. The great Mike Leach had struggles against Alabama's defense. They kept them out of the end zone a lot. Now it's a new coach, Zach Arnett. We'll find out what he's all about on Saturday. A young guy still trying to figure it out, but this is in Starkville, and Alabama looking to do something that they didn't do last year. And it's something that we saw kind of trending in the wrong direction, and that's Alabama's ability to dominate on the road. You know, this was one of Alabama's key strengths through some of their best seasons. And that's it. They'd go in your stadium and they'd whoop up on you, and it would be a blowout, and you'd leave in the third quarter. I mean, even places like Athens, Georgia, you saw that. It hasn't been the case lately. There were a lot of close games in 2021. And then last season, Alabama had all 5 games were close. They had the big lead against Arkansas, and then that slipped away. And remember, that got close. The score at the end, indicated that Alabama won comfortably, but it wasn't. It was really tight at the end, if you remember. They lost at Tennessee on the last play. They lost at LSU in overtime. 2 games that Alabama should have won. They were better than both of those teams, and they didn't. But that's what happens when you play these close games. They were down to the last play against Ole Miss last year. They won that one, and they barely beat Texas last year. Those are 5 really difficult places to play. But if Alabama is going to find that dominant road warrior mentality, you got to go into those places and take care of business. So that's why this game coming up on Saturday is so intriguing to me, because we saw one good half of football from Alabama, and now all of a sudden we feel very confident about the direction of the program, where things are going, but can they extend that? I think this is the perfect environment for Alabama and this young team to take their next step. We learned on Saturday that the defense is leading the way now. That's how it used to be. They had to switch. The rules obviously benefit the teams that have the offense, the way that you can do just about everything. But now that they're trimming a little bit of time off the clock with the new rules, and the fact that we've seen Georgia win back-to-back championships using Alabama's blueprint, that you can win with defense. And Alabama's defense this year is fantastic. The only reason they struggled against Texas is because they couldn't get the plays in. And I mean Alabama, and I mean Kevin Steele, and then Nick Saban made the adjustment, and now T-Rob, Coach Robinson is sending the plays in. You can tell that the defense is a lot more comfortable, and they're getting the plays, and they're ready to go. The secondary could be Bama's best secondary under Nick Saban. I know that's a pretty high standard when you're talking about guys like Minkah Fitzpatrick and, some of the greats, Marlon Humphrey and those guys. You can go down the list. I mean, we sit here and name guys all day. But Kool-Aid and company are really good. And then you throw Malachi Moore into that star spot, and it's been a lot of fun watching these guys defend the pass. Now, the question that we're asking ourselves here is, what does the defense look without Deontae Lawson? That's a great question. What's that going to look like? He's one of the best players on the defense, calling out the plays, kind of the quarterback of the defense. He's got a high ankle sprain. Not sure how long that is going to keep him out. Nick Saban kind of alluded to maybe he's going to practice this week. That's the bad news. The good news is that you do heal from a high ankle sprain. As painful as they are, eventually you can get back on your feet. It doesn't cost you the entire season. The other good thing for Alabama is depth. And this is what you create in these spots. You create depth. And coming into the season, this was a spot where I wondered, like, what's it going to look like? We felt comfortable with Lawson. Well, Jihaad Campbell looked fantastic on Saturday too. Didn't miss a beat. Not only is this great experience for him, we also have Trez Marshall, who came over from Georgia, and he is a guy that's been begging for playing time behind, so many great players in Athens, and now he's getting an opportunity as well. So that's where the depth lies for Alabama. And then you keep an eye on Lawson. How's that going to affect this team? Will Rogers, now more of a pro-style offense instead of the air raid. I don't know. For the first time, though, Mississippi State, although they did lose to South Carolina, they did start to look like a team that could play offense. They moved the ball up and down the field. And so, we'll see what that plays out against Alabama late Saturday night. And when I say late, I mean late. I mean, how about this start time? Unbelievable. 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern start time for an Alabama game. I mean, I get it. Like the TV guys get to make the schedule, but give me a break. That's just way too late. I don't know. Some of these start times are ridiculous. I mean, why not play at midnight, right? I mean, like, really. It's the last game of the schedule. It's going to be a loud environment. I've been to Starkville for football games a lot. I've always enjoyed my time over there. Actually saw Alabama lose back when Mike Dubose was head coach. And they got Mike Shula fired, but that was a win in Tuscaloosa. These guys are always dangerous to me on the schedule. And I think one of the reasons why is that Starkville's in Alabama's media market, and I'm sure those guys get sick and tired of hearing about Alabama all the time. I mean, you're talking about distance-wise, this is less than 2-hour trip. So you're constantly hearing about Alabama if you're at Mississippi State. Those guys have carried a grudge over the years and have made this one of those games that you worry about. Now, Alabama's had some blowouts as well, and the record is obviously heavily tilted towards Alabama, but there's been some real brushes, including, remember the one where Smitty caught the touchdown from Jalen Hurts en route to a championship. I believe that was 2017, but I could be wrong. Anyway, that's where we are right now, looking at this football season and this football team and where things are going right now. It's Starkville, 8 o'clock. We'll keep you updated on everything that's going on. Alabama, obviously, with some momentum now after the win on Saturday. They're up in the polls to number 11. But at this point in time, and I think I said this last show, it doesn't really matter where they are in the polls. It's all about them figuring things out, building week to week. This is a week-to-week season now. You got to take care of Mississippi State. You can't look ahead to Texas A&M. That's going to be another tough game, and so on and so forth. All right, if you're still hanging with us, I want to remind you guys, too, that we got a great deal. NewLifeArt.com. Use the promo code Bama Tailgate, and the 2024 Crimson and White Fine Art calendars. Buy one, get one free. So that perfect for the holidays. You can do that right now at newlifeart.com. Just use the promo code Bama Tailgate. Buy one, get one free on the calendars. And again, Roll Tide, everybody. Thanks for being here. If you're not a subscriber, do it. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Roll Tide.